Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Brokers Open Podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the ambassador of Flow. I'm here with the big guy as usual, Matt Vi. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Another day in paradise.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we have a topic today that, gosh, you know, it brings me straight up back to elementary school.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, some people love vocabulary, some people hate vocabulary. When it comes to, you know, a word and you know, drawing that line across your worksheet to the definition and
Right.
matching it, I just love that. I don't know what it is about it. I
Right.
just love memorizing definitions.
Yeah.
Definitions. I love words, and I love you know. Well, I don't know what that would be called. What's somebody who loves words?
It'd be called a doctor.
Yeah, maybe that's what it
Dr.
is.
Ben
Yeah,
Spears.
yeah.
There is that.
A wordophile. But we're gonna talk a little bit about vocabulary today, and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the vocabulary of top producers, right? And some things that you know might kind of go under the radar by accident that really could impact whether you're getting all the listings that you could.
No, absolutely. Guys, you know the routine. Wherever you're listening or watching this, hit that follow or that subscribe button. Go to brokersopenpodcast.com and scroll down to the bottom and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Our monthly newsletter, and we will send you some real estate tips, tricks, and hacks each month to help you close more business and get some more transactions. So, Matt, when it comes to listings,
Yeah.
right? You see all these memes. There's all these memes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like a house that like doesn't have any walls and
Right.
like half the roof's torn down, and it's like fixer upper,
Right.
or something like that,
Right.
right? There's some humor involved in some of the vocabulary
Sometimes.
that the agents use, and I love it. Right? It
Right.
gets, you know, there's so many of those listing, whatever you want to call it, the paragraphs, the listing details.
Yeah, the description.
That really just the descriptions that absolutely just kill it, and they're hilarious. But let's give some people some examples of, like, you know, some good things to use, some kind of bland or vanilla,
Yeah.
you know, vocabulary. But you know, take us down the road. How do you want to do this?
So I came across some information from a guy named Dr. Waller from Longwood University.
Okay.
And this is what caught my attention, right? So how many times have you seen motivated seller in
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
So you would think that incites people to just go, hey, you know, I want to, right, this is the house for me and everything. That sell, according to the study, houses that use that in their headline or description sell 15% slower. Right. So so that headline popped up and I was like, holy crap, I got to read this.
Why
right?
is it?
I don't know. It's just some of the he didn't get that much into all
okay.
of that. Why? He actually went through some of the words that just made a difference in what some of the percentages were. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about, you know, some of the things that we say that we have to be really careful about. I'll give you another great example is saying clean.
Yeah.
Right? This house has a clean look okay. If you're buying something that you're going to spend that much money on, don't you expect it to be clean? It better be clean.
It's not always clean.
It's not always clean.
Some showings, it's not always clean.
Right.
Yeah.
So things like as is, right? So as is actually according to the study, caused things to sell slower. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to caution everybody to tune into on this part. Okay. This part of the podcast. I really need them to right. So stop doing what you're doing and right.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you put clean in 2 of your listings or motivated seller in 2 of your listings that you sold over a 12-month period and they sold quickly does not mean that you shouldn't pay attention to the rest of this podcast. Yeah. This is about vocabulary. This is about how words make people feel, especially when they're making purchasing decisions. Okay. Yeah. So the motivated seller really caught my attention. The next one that kind of hit me was clean. I was thinking to myself, you know what? Absolutely. Right? Should you have to say that it's clean? right?
Yeah.
Is there a better way? Is there a word? Is there a vocabulary word that helps you say clean without saying clean? That's what this whole study really dug into. And the article that I was reading is dug into is it said it's not that you don't want to put the point across that the home is clean or that the seller is motivated, but you want to say it in a way that helps them get that feel without saying the word that makes them feel different and unmotivated, for lack of a better way of putting
Yeah.
it, to actually go see or purchase that property.
Gotcha. So if it's like super dated, and there's like wood paneling everywhere, should an agent say like, ready a blank canvas, ready to make it your own?
It depends. Are you in? So that's a great point. Are you in an arts district?
Right.
Because if you're in an arts district, that's
Yeah.
exactly what you should say, right?
Yeah.
But if you're not in an arts district, or if you're not in an area town that's the look and the feel, and there's murals on the wall everywhere, and it's not attracting that type of person, it's not that quaint downtown, then maybe not. Because if that house is out in the middle of nowhere, is that really what you want?
Yeah. So let's say I was selling my house.
Yep.
Right. Our house, backs up and we wanted this, and obviously it's an ideal situation, right? We back up to conservation, so there's no homes behind us, all that kind of stuff. But I found the only negative to that is at night, 4 or 5 a.m., raccoons come out of the conservation, and they say like, what's going on in the garbage?
Right.
Now, I put bungee cords on my garbage cans, and I know I don't have any problems with that anymore.
Right.
Right. And they don't come back. I see no signs of them. But would I say surrounded by beautiful wildlife?
You might. Knowing you, Ben, you might.
So I'm just trying to
Don't
think,
let this wildlife steal your heart.
yeah.
Or your trash.
Yeah, but they can have your ham sandwich.
Right. So when I first got into real estate, so there was, and this is an absolutely true story. Okay. So there was a drainage easement at the back of a property, and a couple of agents were talking about it, and so this is not that people weren't supposed to pay attention to this back then, but they were supposed to, because I'm coming up on 25 years in the business or something like that, right? So this is the very beginning of all that, late 90s, and there's just this water hole.
Okay.
And one of the agents was talking to the other one. They were like, "Well, how do I disclose this?" Was talking to the more experienced agent looked at her and says, "Disclose it, honey. What are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, it's drainage and it's whatever." And she said, "I just see a lagoon." She was dead serious, and that made it into the description.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, right. So whenever we talk about vocabulary, it's not just are you using a word that might be a turnoff.
Yeah.
Right. It's also a word that might be that might have a certain connotation to it, or it might be a word that needs to be disclosed properly. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. You don't want to mislead people. That's for sure.
So let's talk about handyman special for just a second.
Yep.
Okay. So when I say handyman special, what do you think of?
Fixer upper.
Yeah, you think of it. You think of a fixer upper, right? Oh, how many handymen are there out there? And what does handyman special actually mean?
Yeah.
To most people.
Yeah.
I think
it needs
when
a lot
we're
of work.
That's right. I think when we're in the business, we kind of get that.
Yeah.
Right. And this is one of those things that we get really accustomed to and we get really comfortable with. And the next thing you know, we're using a phrase that, like a LTV. It's almost like LTV when it comes to loan to value.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Handyman special kind of with us means the same thing, but that might not mean that isn't what it actually means to the public. Using terms like great value.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a Walmart brand.
Right, like a Walmart brand. Something like that might make a difference to how people are impacted and how they feel about that particular property. Right.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that whenever we're looking at the words, we stay away from clean or quiet. Right.
Yeah.
So this one. So a lot of people are going to flip out on this one. Right. That they're sitting there listening. New paint.
Yeah.
Right. What does new paint mean to you and I? Right. It means somebody's taking care of it. Well, the day and age of flippers. Mm-hmm. What does new paint mean? I mean, somebody
covered something up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There's a really good chance. Right.
Yeah.
When you can flip on HGTV and you hear them having conversations about bleaching some mold and then painting over it and
Yeah.
or literally putting it on TV.
Yeah.
Right. You know that there's more to some of that we have to be careful about. And the public is watching these things. The public is paying attention.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that whenever we're talking about vocabulary, we're not using words that mean a certain thing to each other
Yeah.
as agents, but how is it that it's customer facing, right? Like great rental property, right?
Yeah.
So that means something different. Starter property, right?
Yeah.
So what does starter property actually mean to the public?
Yeah. Great first home. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that is all going to make a difference to them and make them look at it the way that you want to look at it. So here's here's what I kind of said in the beginning of this. Experienced agents, or started to say this in the beginning. Experienced agents have exactly that. They
Yeah.
have experience.
yeah.
Right. So most of the people that are in real estate do not have an author level education. They're not great fiction writers, right?
Right.
Or nonfiction writers. They're just not copywriters. They're just not those people, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes they put a description in because they want to hurry up and get it on the market, and they're not really thinking about the difference it would make. Experienced agents that are highly productive, that are taking those next steps in their business, they pay attention to those descriptions. And the other thing that they do is they get people that are non-real estate related people to either help them with the description or to review the description, right?
Gotcha.
And we talked in the beginning that you loved vocabulary and everything. I think everyone knows that I'm not. I love the I can use the big words and I know a bunch of big words, but but I can't spell them. Vocabulary and grammar are just not my thing.
I think you can spell them. I just don't think you take the time.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you can spell them just fine. I'm just like, here, proofread this, man.
I got you. Well, part of that is also because you look at a lot of things through a certain frame and lens, and I want to make sure that it comes across that way, right?
Yeah,
So that
no,
I'm
absolutely.
not speaking real estate to people. And that's what I'm really asking people to do here, right?
Yeah.
So motivated seller means something to real estate agents. It means something different to the public.
Yeah.
Investors in the public, it doesn't. Right.
No, for sure.
But it has a certain vocabulary for them. So things that, like landscaped has a great connotation to it.
Yeah.
Right. That means that it's meticulous. Somebody's paid close attention to
Yeah,
it.
if you
Right.
take care of the outside, you're going to take care of the inside.
That's exactly right. Saying things like, granite, right? Mm-hmm. Updated, right? So updated means that you took out what wasn't the right age and you put in stuff that was the right age, right?
Yeah.
What that means. So all of those things are going to matter. We just have to make sure that we're paying attention to those, because experienced people that have taken that next step in their business, it's not just that they're making more phone calls, which
Yeah.
is what a lot of people think. Oh, well, they just have time and they're doing 3 hours of prospecting in the morning instead of whatever. Those are the people that are doing well, but that are chasing the transactions
Yeah.
instead of having the transactions come to them, because things like vocabulary are being used the way that they should. Everybody would agree that vocabulary is powerful. So why isn't everyone paying attention to it in their descriptions?
Yep. No, I completely agree. So a couple things, guys, before I wrap this up and put a bow on it. Well, we'll say one, and I'll save one for later. But if you buy a new stove or a new oven, you like stainless steel appliance or something like that, and you don't want to pay to have the other one taken away, so you put your old stove in the backyard. That's not an outdoor kitchen.
No, it's not an outdoor kitchen.
So-
Well, it might be, but that's
Yeah.
not. That's not.
That's our outdoor kitchen.
Yeah.
Guys. So, but wherever you're listening to this, guys, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell right beside of it. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. Guys, go to brokersopenpodcast.com. We always have an event or a challenge going on, or replay from one of those things up at the top of the screen. Take a look at that, check it out, and you got any questions about it, hit us up at brokersopenpodcast@gmail.com. If your house backs up to Congo River Putt-Putt,
Right.
you can't be like it's on a golf course.
Right. Unless you put in parentheses, Congo River golf course.
Yeah, exactly. So, Matt.
You also can't put that it's on a river.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You can't put on an airport because Congo River has an airplane.
Waterfront. Beautiful waterfall.
Right.
In the backyard, with some dinosaurs and
Right.
and a crashed airplane.
Next to Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, Brokers Open Podcast, you know how it is, man. It's not just about open houses.
It's about open minds.
See you guys.